somebody, if he starts to slide somewhere past 8 or 9, I'm thinking somebody's going to come up to that 10th or 11th spot. I don't see him going much further outside the top 10 because the quarterback position is too valuable, and you're not going to run the risk. I know you're like, man, we sitting here and look at that. He's already down to 6 and 7, 8, 9. We might as well just sit here at 15, 17, and we can get our guy. I don't believe that's going to happen, Skip. That position is too valuable. And if you dodge a couple of arrows by having him fall out of the top 5 and somehow start to manage his way down to the 10 spot, I see somebody zooming up to the 10 spot or 11 and taking him. I don't see him going down to 15. I don't see him going much past 10. I'll say 11th is the lowest he'll slide. But I don't see him going down. I don't see him really going down and dropping like what PFF says he's going to do. And for me, Skip, look, I get it. And sometimes it's really not it's not how high you go, it's where you go. Because I believe Deshaun Watson went to the right place. I believe Patrick Mahomes went to the right place. Chicago moved up to trade Mitchell Trubisky. And while Trubisky thought it was a great idea, it was great to be the number 2 quarterback off the board, it ain't worked out. So, well, he was the first quarterback because I think Myles Garrett was the first player off the board. He was first quarterback. But for me, Skip, if you look at all these guys, you would have to put together a highlight tape of Trevor Lawrence, a highlight tape of Zach Wilson, a highlight tape of Justin Fields, a highlight tape of Trey Lance to equal what Mac Jones did just this year. If you just look at his tape for 13 games, it's hard-pressed for you to say there is another quarterback that's in this draft that played better. Trevor Lawrence did not play better than Mac Jones. Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson did not play better than Mac Jones did this year. I get it, there's a small sample size. But hell, it's not like you got a whole body of work on Trey Lance. The biggest sample size is Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has not played as well his sophomore and junior year as he did his freshman year. That's fact. Just look at it.
Agreed.
So for me, Mac Jones is plenty good enough. He's plenty athletic enough. He's the most accurate. That's what the numbers say. QBR says in the Pro Football Focus, y'all invented the stat.
Okay.
He was not even close. Might have been one of the greatest QBR seasons in the history of college football.
Well, it was.
His accuracy, number 77%. That's Drew Brees. As great as Drew Brees ain't complete 77% of his passes, Skip.
And he had the best supporting cast.
Yeah, we got it. That's right. Okay, I get Michael.
That's what happens at Alabama.
But Skip.
Okay.
Michael Jackson was Michael Jackson, even though he had the Jackson 5 backing him up. He was still back.
Oh, what he had backing him up was not what Mac Jones had backing him up.
You're right. I don't know if Jackie, Jermaine, Tino,
I don't think so.
Marlon, that ain't the same as those receivers.
No.
But for me, look, I don't see Trey Lance sliding down the draft, going down to 15. I just don't see it. Quarterbacks, I mean, look, we've seen it with Aaron Rodgers. It happened with Aaron Rodgers. But I don't believe it. And everybody's kicking themselves. Because you're like, you know what? Instead of being stubborn and bullheaded, we could have just moved up, gave up another.
Well, a bunch of them could have just sat still and said, yeah, we'll take him. We'll take him at 13 or 15 or 19.
And sometimes, Skip, you learn your lessons by other people's failures.
You do.
I don't believe he slides like what Pro Football Focus says he's going to slide. I don't believe he'll be there at 15. I believe somebody either moves up to take him or somebody up in that spot will take him.
By the way, you should love, for once, Pro Football Focus in this mock draft because they have Mac Jones, that you just raved about, sliding to your Denver Broncos at 9. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me get this out of my system and out of my craw up front. This was horrifying to me to read this. And I'm sure there's some merit in a year in which every prediction, they're all over the map.
Yeah.
I've told you before, in all my years of trying to break down drafts, never has there been a more sort of spellbinding, difficult to predict draft class of quarterbacks like these, because they could all go boom, boom, boom at the top. We may never see so many quarterbacks go so quickly as this draft. Or, to this point, we could see a couple slide. And you know and I know a couple of the 5 will fail.
Yes.
They just will.
Yeah.
It's just history screams they will fail.
I mean, you look at 83, I mean, there were, 5, 6 quarterbacks going in the first round. Elway, Marino, Kelly, all with the Hall of Fame career. But Ken O'Brien, Todd Blackledge, not so much.
Yep. Was Easton in there?
Tony Easton, yes, went to New England, So they had 6 first rounders, 50% of 3 went.
Okay. Tony Easton was
So he did
bad,
go to a
but
Super Bowl,
He
Skip.
took him to the Super Bowl, but he's not a Hall of Famer,
No.
obviously. Okay. Here's my worst nightmare, literally my worst nightmare. If they are right about Trey Lance falling past number 10 where my Cowboys sit, my Cowboys are locked in to take probably a cornerback I've been campaigning for, 40 months now for Patrick Surtain. I'm good with it. Love his dad, love him, love what he brings. He's a stud.
Yes.
I'm good. It's a cornerstone, 10, 12-year Pro Bowl kind of pick. I'm good with that. It's obviously a glaring need pick.
Right.
To be opposite Trevon Diggs, you'd have the 2 Bama quarters. Here we go. Now, what if Trey Lance is there at 10 and Jerry says, well, what am I supposed to do? And nobody trades up. Nobody offers enough to trade up to 10 where they just say, well, we got to take Patrick Surtain. It's exactly what we want and need.
Yeah.
Okay. What if he slides by? Then I'm going to have to worry about him for maybe the next 20 years, because what if he becomes the guy? What if he's the it quarterback of this group? Because I've told you already, my instincts are usually pretty good here, and my instincts are screaming to me, this is the one.
Okay.
I can only do it off the YouTube highlights because I did not watch his games. I'm sorry I did not. But I look at the numbers, and I look at 1 year in 2019 of playing 16 games and throwing 28 touchdowns to 0 interceptions.
Right.
And again, one reason that Pro Football Focus has him falling is, and their little blurb on him at 15 is that his accuracy is a notch below the other first-round prospects. Well, is that true? I ask you. In that year in 2019, he completed 67% of his passes. So I checked out Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech.
Right.
He started for basically 3 years. The first year he only started 7 games, but he was basically a 3-year starter. Here are his completion percentages: 56.8, 63.5, and the final year, 65.7. So even his best year, 65.7, was a couple of notches below 67% for Trey Lance. Well, am I going to condemn Patrick Mahomes for being only a career 63% passer?
No.
No, I won't, because to your point, he's become the best thrower of the football in the National Football League, and he won an MVP, and he won a Super Bowl MVP. I can't take that away.
Right.
And this did not predict it, what was his arc into pro football.
Correct.
It
Yes.
did not predict it.
Yes.
So 67% for Trey Lance in 16
That's
games
damn good.
is good enough.
Yeah.
It's not 77% that you just threw out there,
No.
but it will work
Yeah.
in pro football.
Yes.
So yesterday, Trey Lance had what they called a private workout, which I don't really understand, but they kind of closed it off to the media. There's some clips of him that are circulating on the internet. But my man Jordan Matthews from Vanderbilt University, who left Vanderbilt as the all-time career yards leader in the SEC, and he went on to do great things, very good things in Philadelphia, and right now he's without a team. But they needed somebody else to catch passes yesterday, so he went, and then obviously afterwards he just raved about Trey Lance's pro football future because he said he will be great. I don't doubt that. So now I'm back to my Cowboys. Jerry crumbled, as we know, and he admitted publicly at the media session in which they introduced Dak as the new quarterback and the new highest paid quarterback in the National Football League, with making $75 million in year number one. Biggest signing bonus ever, most guaranteed money ever.
Nice chunk of change.
Okay, what if Trey Lance quickly proves to be better than Dak Prescott? It could happen. Okay, well, it's just going to horrify me and plague me because you could have done that. If you'd been ahead of the game and seen this coming, you could have done that.
But Skip, but if you do it like that, what happens if he's not there at 10?
Okay, but I'm
You did
saying
decide that.
you have to be ahead of the curve. You have to be smart enough to see you have to read the tea leaves,
Right.
and realize, no, he's going to fall. Your reconnaissance, your intel has to be so top notch that you say, aha, we got this. He will fall to us at 10, and he will ultimately be better than Dak Prescott, who, again, I love Dak, but I can't support the fact that, or defend the fact that he's 6-11 in his last 17 starts. I can't defend the fact he's won one playoff game in his career versus a Mahomes who won the MVP and Super Bowl MVP.
Right.
I can't defend him even against Lamar, who did win in his second year the MVP of the league. Okay.
And he's won a playoff game.
Okay, I got it. So the point is that if this is the guy, then the shrewd move would have been, oh, well, we'll just sit quietly here and we'll take it. I mean, again, now you're done. It's over and out. But you could have, if you had tagged Dak Prescott for a second time.
Right. Okay.
So what if you had tagged him for a second time at $37 million, and there'd be a lot of rancor and a lot of bad blood, and it would still, they'd be at odds with each other. But all of a sudden, what if Trey Lance then fell into your lap at number 10 and you said, we got Trey Lance?
Well, if you tagged Dak, you could have got Keanu Neal and Kazee.
Well, I don't know. Maybe not, because that'd be 37 against Cap. Okay.
Versus 22.
Okay, is Keanu Neal going to change life in Dallas?
You said he was. You like Kazee. You like he can't play safety anymore, but he can play linebacker. That's
Keanu Neal. Yeah. Well, he was the 17th overall pick in the draft at one point, and then he tore his Achilles, and he blew out his ACL, and he can't run anymore, so they're going to transition him to outside linebacker.
And guess what? And then you got another guy that tore his Achilles, and you brought him in to play safety.
That was last year.
Yes.
That was 4 games after he and Keanu Neal were on the field at Dallas for that immortal comeback victory in which my team scored 30 points in the second half on a pass defense in Atlanta that was the worst in pro football last year and the 5th worst of all time.
And those two guys were right there.
And those two guys are now on my team as quote unquote up